and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again, another day committed to helping you win in any marketplace, providing the timely truths around real estate, credit, finance, estate, and tax planning. So much more here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you may need our hotline number, and a lot of folks have been reaching out and calling in, and we greatly appreciate that, supporting our local area business owners here and expert contributors for the show. Reach out to the hotline, 813-750-0550.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-750-0550. Just think of the show as kind of one of these online engines where you do a search and you find, hey, I need a great home inspector. I need a termite and pest control company. I'm looking for an attorney. I need a family law advice. So we've got all these different ways we can help you here, and also consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors on the website at consumerqb.com. We want to help you win in any marketplace. Now, we also have the new live stream, so save this information and check out our live streams. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 noon and 1 o'clock. We're hosting a new live stream on our Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook, as well as our YouTube channel. So check us out on YouTube. You can search my name, Brandon Rhymes, and you should find it, or the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we want to help you win in any marketplace. We've got a great lineup for you today as well. We're going to hear from Dan MENIKHEIM as well coming up, and let's introduce Millie Athanason. She's an attorney here locally in Tampa Bay, law offices of Millicent Athanason. Welcome back, Millie.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on.
Hey, my pleasure as well. And what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I thought we'd follow up a little bit on that impeachment process that we were talking about, and perhaps talk a little bit about some family issues.
Yeah, family law is a big issue, I think, too. COVID has really complicated a lot of things. So, yeah, let's dive into some family law, some, the divorce situations and child custody. We get a lot of questions on that as well. So that's some good stuff. So more from Millie coming up a little later in the show. We're going to start off with Dan MENIKHEIM here as well, Pro Health Pest Control. Dan, what do you want to talk about today, my friend?
Whatever questions you may have for me is fine. I'll talk a little bit about the market, what we're seeing out there, and there will be absolutely no politics coming from me. Okay. I'll leave that to the professionals.
Okay, there you go. And so it's going to be a great lineup for you here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Later in the show as well, we've got a first-time expert contributor joining us. His name is Shane Socash, and he's the president and owner of David's Reynolds Jewelry and Coin. We're going to talk about alternative investment opportunities. A lot of people are saying, hey, there's a bubble in the stock market. We're not sure what's going to happen. The Federal Reserve is printing all this money. What's going on, Brandon? Well, hey, let's look at some alternative investment opportunities, and you might find that in gold, jewelry, coins. There might be some opportunities there as well. So as you know, I'm the owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We like to feature our real estate listings live on air on our show to help our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. So we got some really great listings right now. Some of my favorite properties, I tell you, one of my favorite right now is 1010 Bay Esplanade. This is on Clearwater Beach, the north side of Clearwater Beach, Millionaires Row. You're surrounded by some really high-end income properties as well. This is almost 3,200 square feet home. You got 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2-car garage, and a private apartment which could be rented out. And you can't really do the Airbnb short-term stuff. You got to do a little bit longer, but what a great rental. You got income built in, plus a private sun deck on the 3rd story. So that's a really cool opportunity. And you got, of course, the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters of beautiful Clearwater Beach right here in Tampa Bay.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
And this segment is brought to you by the Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, the beautiful Bilmar Beach Resort on Treasure Island. Make sure you talk to Clyde Smith. He's the general manager. Let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take him up for those special incentives. I love to get the beachfront room. You walk right out. You're stepping onto the sand. What a great place to just enjoy. Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, Dan, let's jump right into it. Dan MENIKHEIM here. He's the owner of Pro Health Pest Control. And, I like to talk about consumer advocate tips, seasonally appropriate advice. Right now, the weather's a little cooler. What are you seeing out there, Dan?
Yeah, well, we're starting to see a little bit of termite activity when it comes to drywood termites. Those are pretty much the ones that live in your attic or around your window joists or window frames. But, that we typically see that all year round. That gets increasingly. Rodents seem to tend to go more towards the attic, which can mess up the ductwork in the cooler season as well. They'll go in there. And then we kind of get some ants and roaches too. But this definitely, if you want to talk about a slower season, we're right in the middle of our slow season. It definitely come February, March, ants, roaches, termites, everything starts going crazy. So, that's what's going on around what we're
kind of like they're hibernating a little bit. It's a little slower time. The grass is not growing. There's just less activity in Mother Nature, it seems.
Yeah, and a lot of times we'll get, as soon as it starts raining and it warms up, we'll get a lot of phone calls for termites and for ants. And sometimes they're just ants that are, ants swarm just like termites. So sometimes, and it's both in the springtime. So yeah, they definitely, they're waiting for, it's when they want to reproduce and expand their colonies. That starts happening in the warmer seasons. So that's what's going on around us. A lot of termite inspections because, we do termite work, and a lot of people that buy a home, they want it inspected by a professional to make sure that they don't have termites or, what's going on with their home. So we do a lot of that too.
Yeah, that's important when you look at selling a property. You're saying, hey, I've got it under contract. I'm pending, in the MLS we mark it as pending. There's a pending sale, and a lot of times, sometimes, I shouldn't say a lot of times, sometimes those properties, they don't close for whatever reason or another. The listings ends up expiring, and you have different situations that happen. And being in over a decade now in real estate, you look at squirrels getting into the attic, rats getting into the attic. That can wreak havoc for a homeowner, Dan.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's times where we're not out, we're out there just trying to tell you what's going on or whatever. But yeah, we've gotten in some attics to where the rodent damage and the ductwork and that, where somebody wants to suck out all the insulation. And then the AC's got to replace the majority of the AC work. You wish you had termites.
Yeah, you wish it was a lesser problem, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, as long as and then there's times, and one of the things that, for people out there, just because you can't see them or just because I can't see them doesn't mean they're not there. The majority of the home you can't see. We always recommend it, whether it's our company or somebody else, you get a soil treatment. That is a treatment around the whole perimeter that'll protect you against subterranean termites. Here's a myth. My home's made of concrete. I don't have to worry about termites.
Good
Wrong.
One. Good one.
Your home's the structure of your main wall structure and your foundation is made of concrete.
Yeah.
Your attic joist and the walls in between the home, your kitchen cabinetry, the majority is that your baseboards, everything that's made of wood. And if you think when you rip out a wall, it's more expensive than you think. And if you live in an older home that the whole entire home's made of frame and you don't have it termite protected, you're really doing yourself a disservice. That's way too much. It's like owning a home and not having it insured.
Yeah.
You don't have it, I just totally, that's one I really don't think you should risk.
You're setting yourself up for a lot of pain at some point, whether you're selling it or
we've seen
it.
And I see.
Yep.
Well, I see an abnormal amount of stuff in the business I'm in. I do pest control, but I go out to houses, and all of a sudden, it'll be an older home. They went to redo their bathroom, and the entire wall is covered with termites. Where do they go? Usually they follow the plumbing area. So, I've gone to homes, it's a 90-year-old home, and you go there and you go, oh, I see the termite damage from the street. It's where the bathroom wall has been removed, and you could see it, and they need some termite help. And it's like, man, well, you haven't had termite protection here in over 15 years.
Right.
Just because you couldn't see it. They didn't see it until they remodeled the bathroom. And then they found out that the tile was holding up the structure of the wall.
Wow.
Not the actual wood, yeah. Wow. And we see that often. Once again, what do I see every day? I do termite work. I look for termites. People call me with termite issues. I see it daily, but it could happen to you. Just an FYI, to make sure you get your home protected by termites, please.
That's right.
For you. And it's honestly a typical plan for us with our company. A soil treatment's around $1,000. That's for an average size home. And then we like to inspect it every year. That's about $1,000. It's a little over $1,000, and it's 10 years protection. It's one of the least expensive things you can protect your home. And the product we put in the soil will kill termites for 10 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Guaranteed.
ProHealthPestControl.com. Dan MENIKHEIM here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. ProHealthPestControl.com. And Dan, when you look at some of the other solutions, you see some homeowners have asked me, well, what are those little black boxes that you find at the outside of the 2 points, both sides of the home? Those little black boxes. What are those?
Yeah, they're rodent traps.
So it's a rodent trap, and you just kind of you got to constantly every 3 to 6 months, just keep refilling it with the little pellets.
Yeah, it's actually like a poison you put in there. What we recommend is, we're out there, is get a thorough inspection by a pest control company like ours, that we'll go out there and we'll look for entry points, and then we'll seal the entry points.
Right.
That way there's nowhere where they can get in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And where do they get in? Here's a good one. It's cooler out. The weather will probably dip a few times. Cooler weather will drive them up there. Look where your air conditioning unit on the exterior of the home.
Yep.
Look to see where that runs into your home. Make sure that that's sealed up around there. Sometimes that gets loose and it falls out, or it's just duct tape or electrical tape that's fallen loose. Make sure that's sealed. That's about 85% of the time we see rodents in the attic. They came in through where the air conditioning line comes in.
Yep, and I'll tell you another place is the garage door where that kind of rubber hits on the side there. That's a good place. If you got a little gap. Yeah, when we do inspections or we're out there, we'll point that out to people and they'll be like, "Oh, I don't care." I go, "No. This is look that hole there. You need about less than a quarter size for a rat. All he's got to do is stick his head in, and then they can squeeze through. They can get their body through. And where do you keep your garbage? That's
Most of the time, you in the garage. What are they looking for? Shelter and food. You got both.
Yep, absolutely. We're talking with Dan MENIKHEIM here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ProHealthPestControl.com. And you, Dan, talk a little bit about your family dynamic, because you and your wife operate the businesses, and that's a really cool thing to be able to do that. My wife Lindsay and I, of course, own and operate our real estate team, but it's pretty special to be able to do that and share a business and serve the community that way.
Yeah, we've been in business for a little over 20 years now. And why do we keep doing it? Sometimes the hours are long. We all know you. You two work very hard. The hours are long or whatever, but it's all about the people, right?
Yeah.
When you get to help the people, and people really show their appreciation what you do, it's really great. And the people that we have within our company, they're really great people. We get to know them, their families. There's all the time. It's like, some people will be like, "Oh my God, everybody's your friend," because that's how we treat everybody, right?
That's right.
So when they call up, they're like, "Oh, I know Dan, or I know Melissa, or whatever." You know what I mean? So I don't know if I have that many friends. Maybe it's Melissa, right? Maybe I'll give her the credit.
Yeah, that's what they tell me too. Lindsay's much nicer than you. But yeah, you take that great pride. No matter what business you're in, you're in the people business. We always are in the people business, right?
Yeah, and you know what? We just like you, we like to educate.
Yes.
You know, we're not going to scare you into a service. We're going to explain. We're just going to explain what we can do, whatever, and we let you choose.
Right.
You know, we'll give you some options. What would I do? What we do? And you know what? If you know, and we just work with people. You know.
Yep,
that's
absolutely.
all we do.
And also, I bet you could give some really good advice for those amateur flippers out there, people looking to get in the real estate flips. We got about a minute left here, Dan. Final thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts. I'm so happy to be in the state of Florida. Bug business is doing good. We're so fortunate here to be in Florida with referral sources like your show and yourself, and doing a great job. And the fact that I've been in business for 21 years, we're very blessed. I wish everybody the best wishes out there. I want to let know all the first responders and the active military or retired military. We have discounted rates for you. Just mention it, and we take 5 to 10% off depending on the product or service.
I love it. I love it. Thanks for supporting our vets. Thanks for being a great business owner out there and a consumer advocate here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Dan MENIKHEIM, ProHealthPestControl.com. All right, good stuff, Dan. Thanks again, man. We'll see you next time, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, coming up, attorney Millie Athanason here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to talk about family law, estate planning, estate law, as well as the impeachment and what's happening there as well. And coming up later, we got Shane Socash making his debut to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Reynolds Jewelry and Coin. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin, that is. And a feel-good story of the day as well. New York cleaning woman is gifted a penthouse by residents. Find out about that right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and check out consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, with your Pasco County real estate market update for residential listings in Pasco County. At the end of 2020, December 2020, we had 1,361 properties available. That is down 1,429 less listings, and that's down 51.2% year over year. Now, looking at the sales, you had 1,260 properties sell at the end of December 2020. That's plus 156 sales, plus 14.7%. So dividing the solds by the listed, that gives us a 93% absorption rate. Wow, 93% absorption rate, and it's only a 1.08 month supply. It's a strong seller's market in Pasco County, and my wife Lindsay and I own a top real estate team here in Tampa Bay, top 1% ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay. So if you're selling property, we would love to talk to you to help you maximize the exposure, maximize the profits, and I'm a certified negotiation expert, so we can help you win in your real estate deals. Give us a call, 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Also, you can view the website at consumerqb.com. That's consumerqb.com. Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate your support, and we'll see you on the radio. 4 o'clock drive time, AM 860, The Answer.
My friends, when choosing a listing agent to sell your home, their track record is critically important. Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Real Estate. They're consistently rated by the MLS in the top 1% of all Tampa Bay realtors, and that's a big deal. Brandon and Lindsay are always among the top realtors in the state. Call them today at 813-750-0550.
Find them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm Brandon Rhymes. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We love to feature our listings here. So if you're selling properties, we give you extra exposure, which leads to maximum offers, maximum profit on the sale of your real estate properties. We got one right here in Tampa, Seminole Heights area, 1813 East Knollwood, Tampa. This is a great opportunity. The property's just been reduced. Owner is super motivated here. You got 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, almost 1,300 square feet, fenced-in backyard, a large fenced-in backyard, Seminole Heights neighborhood, newly renovated, close to downtown Tampa. Great opportunity right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Millie Athanason back on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Attorney Millie Athanason, that is. Welcome back, Millie.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Hey, my pleasure. It's always great to have you as well. And, it's a consumer advocate-based program here in Tampa Bay, and we always love to help the consumers out there. And you mentioned family law earlier, and to me, that's such a challenging area of law. I've heard some attorneys say, I see people at their worst because they're going through a divorce.
Yes, and that is generally something I say, too, is that it's really good people at their worst time. And, there's nobody that you're ever going to meet that's going to say, hey, I'm really having fun with my divorce.
Right.
So it's just it's a tragic situation, and it's kind of like a death. You almost have to, grieve that loss.
Yeah, exactly. You got to grieve it. You got to move on. You got to, and it takes time. It's a different for everyone. It could be a couple of weeks for somebody, a couple months, or even a couple of years for some people to get over the fact that they had a marriage that is dissolved. There's irreconcilable differences, and then when the children are involved, what kind of advice do you have? Because it feels like sometimes the children are the ones that lose out.
Absolutely. The best advice I could give is that the sooner that the parents can come up with a time-sharing schedule as to when the child is going to spend time with each parent, the better. If you're using the minor child or children as a pawn to get other things or as a negotiation tool, that really puts the children in the middle of the entire divorce, and it's unfair to them as well as unfair to the parents. Children are small for such a long time, and even though 18 years seems like a long time, as someone who now has a 25-year-old, I can tell you that it is a very short period of time, and it goes by very fast. So that if you're, the time that you can spend with your children is very important. We start out in Florida with the concept of what's called shared parental responsibility. And a lot of people seem to think that means that each parent should have the child or children 50% of the time. And that is not the current presumption under the law. What that means is, by shared parental responsibility, is that both parents have equal decision-making authority with regard to the activities of the child or children, and that the parents are supposed to confer with each other on all major decisions affecting the lives of their children. So what that means is that even though the parties may be getting divorced or are divorced, they're supposed to still act in a manner consistent somewhat with a cohesive family. In other words, you're serving as co-parents. You may not be life partners anymore, but with regard to your children, you're still co-parents, and you need to act accordingly.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
a lot of people have a great deal of difficulty with that. But what that sort of thing means is, for example, and I see this happen so many times, little Johnny wants to play soccer. Well, one parent will sign up little Johnny for soccer, and then the other one complains, well, I'm not taking little Johnny on my time. That's my time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, think about the kid. Come on.
Exactly.
Stop being selfish.
Exactly. It's not about your time and my time. It's about little Johnny's time.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we're talking with attorney Millie Athanason here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And you can check her out online, athanasonlaw.com, ASONlaw.com. Law offices of Millicent Athanason here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back. We're going to talk a little bit more family law, maybe some estate law, but also the impeachment. Interesting situation happening right now. And our feel-good story of the day, New York City cleaning woman is gifted a penthouse by the residents. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Johnny, ready? Alrighty, everyone, please stand by.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We help you win in your real estate deals. If you're buying, selling, or investing, we are expert negotiators on our team. I'm a certified negotiation expert. I actually teach negotiation and branding to other realtors. So we'd love to help you win in your real estate deals if you're buying, selling, or investing here in Tampa Bay. 13204 Fawn Lily Drive. This is a beautiful real estate property listing of ours over in East Hillsborough County. A large home. This is, if you're looking for more space, this is a great opportunity. 6 bedrooms, 4,500 plus square feet, 3-car garage. You got water features in this home as well. And it's a waterfront property. Beautiful home as well. I mean, it shows amazing. Price reduced, owner motivated. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
And this segment is brought to you by Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance. Big shout out to Replenish IV Solutions, and they will deliver to you. They'll come right to your home or office, and they'll hook you up with these vitamin infusion drips. And, you know, we all want to feel energized, hydrated, and replenished. Safe and effective way to restore your body's systems of providing it with crucial vitamins and nutrients. So reach out to Replenish IV Solutions. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we got attorney Millie Athanason here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And Millie, we were kind of teasing a little bit. First of all, are we kind of finished with the family law topic? Or did you cover what you wanted to cover there, family law?
Oh, well, I just wanted to say one more thing, was that, you know, even though there's not a presumption under the law of equal time sharing, I wanted to mention that there is no presumption in favor of one parent or the other under the law. Like some people think that, oh, well, if the child is small, the mom's going to get the child. There is no legal presumption to that effect. While that happens often, there's no legal, order or consequence. In other words, either parent is equally capable in the eyes of the law of taking care of a child, no matter how old they are.
That's interesting because you do see, I mean, it feels like and it seems like, just from what I've talked about, that it does favor the mother a little bit in a divorce situation, just kind of the whole nurturing side. And what have you seen over the years?
Yes, I mean, well, I've been doing this 31 years. So when I first started practicing law, there was a presumption legally, but the law has changed. But in the beginning, there was a presumption that children of tender years or young children would be favored to be with the mother. However, times have evolved.
Right.
And you're seeing a lot of stay-at-home dads, and that's something like if if the parties have a precedent between themselves that, like, mom goes to work and dad is the caretaker for the children at home, the court's not going to disrupt that unless they think there's a problem or something is detrimental to the child. So the courts do have a tendency to leave in place what the parties have in place unless they show that there's something that's going to adversely affect the minor children.
Right.
So, yeah, it could very well be that a man, while a man can't breastfeed, a man can certainly administer formula, or if the breast milk is pumped, they can certainly give breast milk to a child. And if a child is sick, they can certainly tend to the child's needs. I mean, you can administer cough syrup the same way I can, right? I mean, there's nothing, so that presumption that existed many moons ago is no longer, in effect. Now, having said that, does it seem like more women have custody of children? Yes, because in part, many times the parties have that in place where mom stays home as the caretaker and dad goes off to work and, supports the family. Since you still see that a lot, again, that's something in place during the marriage. The courts are not likely to disrupt that upon a divorce unless there's some fact or circumstance that changes that. So, that's what I wanted to say, though, that in today's age, there's no presumption. So if you're a dad that feels very strongly that you're a good parent, you want to primarily take care of the child, that is something you can pursue.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with attorney Millie Athanason here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, family law. And then did you want to mention on anything about estate planning before we jump into the impeachment?
Yeah, as far as this COVID, this awful tragedy, the pandemic here, I certainly think that getting yourself a last will and testament is something that you really should consider and do. Because unfortunately, nobody knows who's going to live and who's going to pass away from this disease. And having your affairs in order is very important, simply because it's not only tragic enough when somebody passes away, but then the living that remain are also scrambling, figuring out what's supposed to happen with, how do you want to be buried or cremated? How are your assets going to be disposed? And it can place a lot of tension among families if that's not handled.
That's right.
So it's certainly something that you should think about. And even though it's a morbid topic to discuss, and heck, nobody likes to talk about, when I die, I think it's something that just, being prudent, you should think about, and it protects you and your family.
That's right, Millie. Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit uncalming. You never want to think about it, but it's a necessity, because if not, the state of Florida is going to charge a lot. They're going to take a lot of the fees. The probate is very expensive. Let's jump into impeachment. We got just a few minutes here left. So what's the latest? What do you think about this impeachment situation?
Well, what's happened. Okay, we know that Senator Rand tried to make the motion to have the trial process dismissed, thinking that it was unconstitutional since Trump is no longer the president as of January 20th. That motion failed. However, it failed on a vote of 55 to 45. So, as I had said the last time when I was on, the Senate is going to have to come up with 17 Republican votes to vote for the conviction on the impeachment. But when you've got a dismissal motion that only passed by 55 to 45, you can see where that's going to be a big effort for those 17 votes to come up. Okay? So, I mean, you can infer what you want from that, but I do think that that's kind of a telling sign of where this is going.
Yeah, I agree. And it just, again, like we talked about, I feel like it's time to move on. We got to start doing some positive things here. Congress has such a negative approval rating, and it just looks like to me it's they're trying to play it up. And then you remember back in 2001 when we had the Trade Center disaster. We had that Patriot Act come next, right? It's like, while everybody's sad and mourning and worried about, being attacked, let's see how many rights we can take away. Let's see how many liberties we can etch away from the citizens. It feels to me like it's that similar type of situation, Millie.
I didn't think of it that way, but Brandon, you're right. It could in fact be that way, or it certainly feels that way, because I think all American citizens right now are feeling slighted in some way, whether it's because of all the political drama that's occurred and or with the pandemic or a combination thereof. Americans, the world is upset, but particularly Americans are just very disgruntled and upset. We don't have that same patriotism in the country or camaraderie, like it's great to be an American and we all need to band together, that existed back in 2001 to some degree.
Yes.
I don't think it even exists right now.
Agree. Yeah, I agree with you. Yep, it's definitely, it feels almost like it's the haves, the political elite, the money, the folks that are in cahoots with the CEOs. It feels like it's us versus them, when it should be we, for the people, we the people. The elected officials are for the people, we the people. You hear so many people gripe about term limits. Do you ever think we'll see term limits?
Additional term, and no, I don't see that coming up any day soon. I think there's too many other pressing issues in the country right now that they're going to want to deal with, or at least debate about and argue about before we get to those term limits. Although I do think perhaps that may be something that's going to come up closer to an election period.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Good stuff. Millie Athanason, check her out online. You can contact our Consumer Quarterback Show hotline. We'll put you in touch as well, consumerqb.com, or direct at her website, athanasonlaw.com, ATHANASON law.com. Final word of wisdom, Millie, final thought.
Well, in with everything going on, and I'm going to go back to the family law, be good to your kids. It doesn't matter how much you dislike the other parent. Just be good to your kids, because they're the ones that kind of suffer through this. And our job as parents is to raise productive, good citizens.
Absolutely. All right. Good stuff. Thanks so much, Millie. We appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon. Talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
Coming up, we got Shane Socash, president and owner of David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin, coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Interesting topic here. We wanted to talk about alternative investments. Of course, the real estate market's hot. The stock market's booming. You got different options for cryptocurrencies, things of that nature. GameStop, we hear, is blowing up. But let's find out about some stuff right here in Tampa Bay that we can support, a small company, or a local company here, a small business here in Tampa Bay. Coming up right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, Real Estate Quarterback Show, and talking about the Pinellas County update. Here's the updated residential listings and sales for Pinellas County. At the end of December 2020, the latest statistics from the GTAR, the Real Estate Board, we have over 2,985 properties available for sale at the end of December 2020. Now, out of those 2,985 properties, 2,107 sold. So we're up 172 sales. That's plus 8.9%. So the inventory is down, sales are up, and it's a great market to be in. You had 2,107 sold, divided by the amount of listed, it's a 71% absorption rate. And if you divide that out, it gives you a 1.41 month supply of inventory, meaning it's a strong seller's market. So we would love to talk to you. If you're thinking about listing a property, we help sellers maximize the exposure on the sale of their real estate properties by featuring them on our show. Give us a call, 813-750-0550. Call or text 813-750-0550, and check out consumerqb.com. That's consumerqb.com. Thanks so much. Make it a great day, and we'll see you at 4 o'clock drive time on AM 860 The Answer.
My friends, when choosing a listing agent to sell your home, their track record is critically important. Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Real Estate. They're consistently rated by the MLS in the top 1% of all Tampa Bay realtors, and that's a big deal. Brandon and Lindsay are always among the top realtors in the state. Call them today at 813-750-0550.
Find them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
All righty, we've stopped down with 10 minutes, 45 seconds left, and that way you guys can chat.
All right, Shane, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. We just got about 10 minutes left here. Just wanted to check your levels on the phone, and we'll just come right back into it, and I'll introduce you, and we'll just talk about the alternative investments and retentions of values.
You got it.
Spelling of the last name is Socash, right?
That's correct.
Yep. Socash, yep. All right, buddy. Here we go. So Jose's just going to do a countdown, and we'll be going right here on the phones.
Johnny, you need that 5-second?
Shane, Shane. Last name Socash, Socash. Johnny's just putting that on the TV side.
Do you need me to insert that countdown?
No. Do you need a countdown? Okay. No, we're good. Just tell us when to start, or what's it going to play?
Here, I'll give you a countdown. Stand by.
Okay.
Alrighty, stand by, everybody.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, thanks for hanging out with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm Brandon Rhymes, powered by the Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty. We feature our real estate listings live on air on the show to help you understand more of your buying decisions and give you a little sample of what's happening in the real estate market. 12208 Four Oaks Road. This is a vacant land opportunity. There's actually a single-family home, but it's more of a vacant land from a development play. You got 5 acres, R9 zoning, 40 units potentially to be built here on these 5 acres in Carrollwood. So it's one of the hottest areas in all of Tampa Bay. That's Carrollwood, close to South Tampa, zoned R9. So you got residential zoning, great opportunity. 12208 Four Oaks Road in Tampa. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
And every day we tell you something positive here in our Feel Good story.
Tell me something good.
All right, so you get a hardworking cleaning woman in New York City who hit hard times during the pandemic, is gifted an apartment thanks to all the people who lived in the building she worked. What an awesome opportunity. Rosa thought she was being taken up an elevator to an apartment she had to clean, but instead she was surprised to learn that the 4-bedroom, 3-bath penthouse was for her. The residents learned about her hard times. They pitched in for a 2-year lease and, quote, the people that live here have been telling me a lot of your contributions to the building, and the people here in the building are big fans of yours. The real estate agent says in the video, you're kind of a celebrity here. You're very well loved, and I know it's been a tough year for you and your family, a lot of financial hardships, and I have a contract here for a 2-year lease on this unit. Some of your fans have put together. All you have to do is sign and take the keys. What an awesome story for the cleaning lady in the penthouse in New York. Pretty cool story. All right, now we're going to welcome in Shane Socash. He's the president and owner of David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin. Hey, welcome to the show, Shane.
Thanks, Brandon. I'm excited to be part of this.
Hey, my pleasure. Yeah, love to have local area businesses. We talk a lot about supporting the local economy here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and I think this is a really neat topic of people looking to for alternative investments, or maybe they're just buying a nice piece of jewelry for their family or a loved one.
Yeah, we're here. So local, we've been here since 1971, and we've been filling that void as far as jewelry goes all that time, and also we do a lot with bullion and coins also.
Talk to me about gold prices, gold bullion. That's just such an interesting topic to me.
Well, it's up, and we are selling a lot of it. I would say in the last 8 or 9 months, having been here 21 years, I have never seen gold moving as the way that it is right now, even to the point that we're having shortages, throughout the United States. So we really have to kind of scramble to fill orders.
Wow, that's interesting. So how does that work? Do people actually buy the gold and walk away with it at home? Or I'm a little bit disconnected on that.
They walk in our door and purchase the gold. Obviously there's some security situation there as far as how they pay us.
Yep.
It can be a wire. We do, we have limits on cash just to keep the cash in the store down.
Yep.
But pretty much we're doing in-person orders. There's no way around it. There's too much abuse and fraud, with credit cards and online gold orders. It's really tricky. So in person is the way to go.
Yeah, and talk about wire fraud as well, because we see it on the real estate side. Before you send the wire, before you hit send on the button, a good rule of thumb, what we've always talked about and coached in the real estate space, is call the recipient, make sure the wiring instructions are correct, because there's these scammers out there that will change one little piece of the email instructions and it'll go to some other account, who knows where.
Fantastic. That's good information to hear. We haven't had an issue. We work primarily with local people that were like, so in the old days we'd have a nice handshake on the deal.
Yep.
But generally the people that we're dealing with locally are a Google away from knowing who they are and verifying who they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Shane Socash here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin right here in Tampa Bay over in St. Pete. DavidReynoldsJewelryandCoin.com. And think about from an alternative investment perspective. We know the real estate market's hot, but there's competition is fierce. We've got the highest absorption rates, the lowest inventory that we've seen in decades. And then you think about, okay, the stock market. Well, what's going on there? Well, we're printing a ton of money. A lot of these companies and corporations are issuing stock buybacks, which in some people will agree that it falsely inflates the value of some of these stocks. There's so many different questions that people have, but alternative investments, what's your take on alternative investment, Shane?
So it's happening. People are doing it. Again, like I said, it just blows my mind the amount of gold that we're selling, and the people that are buying it are some of the wealthiest of our community. They're doing their due diligence. They believe, like you said, you just can't print money forever. And they're kind of moving away from some of the on-paper assets, and they want at least a percentage of their net worth to be in something they can hold in their hand.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, is it the same with silver and other precious metals?
Yeah, definitely. Silver, I'm looking right now. It's up 3.5% today. It's hot. It's more easily and readily obtainable to people in lower income groups. But wealthy people buy it also. There's also some speculation that the ratio between silver and gold is bigger than it has been historically. They feel that a correction is coming, and we may see silver make a leap closer to gold in terms of ratios.
Because I believe silver also has some utility in the making of smartphones and other computer components. Is that correct?
So, gold has to, too. I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know exactly how much either of those metals, they're both strategic metals, and they both have fantastic working properties that are great in different technologies. So, silver does things other metals can't do, same way gold does, platinum also.
Yeah, that's interesting. What about appraisals? I know a lot of times people talk about appraisals. Hey, my mom's got an old Rolex watch. Are you helping folks with appraisals, helping them put a fair market value on some of their different items?
Definitely. Fair market value, willing seller, willing buyer, neither under duress to sell or buy. We do that all day, every day, people, and quite a bit. COVID has brought hard times for quite a few people, and it's unfortunate, but some people are struggling, and we are here. These are things we buy, and we're seeing a lot of people in that situation, unfortunately.
And go ahead and give your physical location if folks want to come by the storefront and see you, Shane.
You got it. Since 1981, we've been here at 4009 Central Avenue St. Petersburg 33713.
Central Avenue. That's very close to US 19, I believe, right?
We're 6 blocks away from US 19. We're kind of halfway between downtown and the beach. And, we have our own parking lot, so you don't have to fight with parking like you would for a downtown situation.
Very good, very good. And you're over there close to the Bilmar Beach Resort. That's our hotel partner for the Consumer Quarterback Show, just straight down Central. I believe you run right into
absolutely
the Bilmar Beach Resort. Yep. And social media as well. People can find you on social.
We're on Facebook. We're on both Facebook and Instagram, but we primarily use that for jewelry design because that's a big part of our business too. With 5, basically master-level jewelers here in our store. We do a lot of services, custom design, and appraisals and repair.
Very cool. And predictions for the Super Bowl. I don't know how much of a sports fan you are. Been asking everybody that, of course.
So I am by far not a football fan. But, man, I love what's going on. It's exciting, and I'm so hopeful. Man, how spectacular would that be to see the Bucks win it? It would just be magnificent.
What a cool story, TB12 coming to Tampa Bay and, kind of proving, or some people say, hey, it wasn't all Belichick, Tom Brady has the plan, and really interesting. So final thoughts. We got about 30 seconds for you left here. Final thoughts, words of wisdom, and nuggets of advice.
Yeah, nuggets of advice. So owning something, not on paper, physical assets, it should be part, at least a small part of your plan. We're here, we do it. You can actually talk to the people that sell it. You can see it ahead of time. It's much more cut and dry than try to do that over the internet. And we're competitive. We know what the internet charges for the stuff. So,
that's right.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, good stuff. Thanks so much, Shane. We appreciate you joining us, and welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show Expert Contributor Panel.
I am so honored.
Hey, my pleasure. All right. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. Maybe volunteer some time at your local church or food bank. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.